Sim, existem várias formas de você estudar inglês. Uma das formas é aqui com a gente, Inglês no Rádio. Você está aprimorando o seu ouvido, melhorando cada vez mais o seu listening. Mas não existe, gente, isso eu garanto, uma forma melhor do que você fazer o seu listening junto com o speaking, ou seja, falar inglês. E o Cambly te dá essa oportunidade. Vá lá no cambly.com ou no aplicativo do Cambly, coloca o nosso código Inglês no Podcast e você vai ganhar uma aula de graça. Dessa forma, você pode testar a plataforma, entender como é que funciona e fazer valer tudo aquilo que você está aprendendo aqui com a gente, né? Porque é falando que se aprende, é errando que se aprende também. Então, vamos ultrapassar esse medo de falar a língua inglesa, porque, gente, é incrível. A partir do momento que você ganha confiança, você pode escolher lá um professor, uma professora nativa da língua inglesa, qualquer hora lá no Cambly, e pronto. É isso. Depois me conta o que vocês acharam, tá? Então, now, on with the show!
Hey, Alexia.
Hey, Foster.
Would you like to do the intro?
Yeah.
Cool. Introduce us.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. I am your co-host, the guinea pig of everything, Alexia Souza, and I'm here with the world's favorite English teacher, Foster Hodge.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. It's a Sunday. We're recording podcast. Buddy is asleep right beside me. I should probably stop saying his name as to not wake him up. But I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
So, today, come on, Foster, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are continuing the theme of talking about different shows, series, movies that we watched in 2020. And today I wanted to talk about, I don't know. I don't want to say this was my favorite documentary of 2020 because I watched a lot of documentaries that I'm probably forgetting about right now. But this was a really good one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, because we agreed about talking about it before the show.
It's a documentary called O Começo da Vida. And then this is part 2. So if I'm not mistaken, part 1 was called The Beginning of Life. And I think it was in English. But I didn't see part 1. But part 2 was during the pandemic. And it's called O Começo da Vida lá Fora. And most of it takes place in Brazil. But some of it's in Spanish in Chile. And some of it's in the United States. And it's just a wonderfully satisfying documentary. I absolutely adored it. What about you, Alexia?
I loved it as well. And I think that everyone should watch it. First of all, I think that it's a good way of listening to different accents when you speak in English. Because you have Brazilians speaking in English, you have the United States, of course, there, and then you have Hispanic people speaking in English as well.
Yeah, but they also have people speaking in Portuguese and in Spanish.
Yes.
And for me, it was one of those moments where they started in Portuguese and then they switched to an American guy. And then all of a sudden they were in Chile speaking Spanish. And I remember looking at Alexia and thinking, that's pretty cool. We understand all of those languages.
Yeah, that's true. But I would like to ask you one thing. What's the difference between Spanish and Hispanic?
That's a good question. For most purposes, there's not really a difference. So if you say that person is Spanish, the correct interpretation of that is that person is from Spain, right?
Yeah.
But when we talk about the Spanish language, that applies to all countries that speak Spanish. So if you say the Hispanic world, or I don't know, the Hispanic countries of Latin America, you are referring to the countries and cultures that speak Spanish.
Yeah. So Hispanic would be the people who speak Spanish. And Spanish people would be people from Spain. And Spanish language is Espanhol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, most people just say Spanish, but if you want to be very correct, it's not commonly used because if you're talking about a person from Colombia, you will probably say they are Colombian or Peruvian or wherever the person is from. It's not very common to say they are Hispanic.
Okay. But it's good to know.
Good to know. Okay, so Alexia, can you give me a short summary without too many spoilers? What is this documentary about?
Well, I think it's hard to talk about it without giving it spoilers.
Oh, there's really no spoilers.
Yeah.
There's no action at the end.
I think the documentary shows the importance of spending life outside in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably just say spending time in nature.
Yeah. Spending time in nature. So when I'm saying nature here, I'm talking about parks, I'm talking about rivers, I'm talking about lagoons, I'm talking about praça, like plazas. I'm talking about anything that it's outside, you know?
Yeah. Essentially, when you say nature, you're talking about anything outside that probably is green.
Yeah, because nowadays we see that countries and cities, they are developing a lot, of course, new buildings, new factories, new everything. But we don't see as much parks or plazas or nature involved in these developments.
Yeah, there are not as many green spaces in urban planning as we would ideally like to have.
Yes, and this documentary shows different projects and different schools for kids and for teenagers that use the nature and outside activities as the most important part of the development. How do I say that? The
Childhood development?
Yeah, childhood development.
Yeah. So you can say childhood development. And just one recommendation, Alexia. You said uses the nature. We almost never say that. In English, we just say nature.
Okay.
Okay?
But did I do a great job?
You did a wonderful
Okay.
job. So I think the most important thing about this documentary, it's just demonstrating the importance of having contact and connection with the natural world, especially for children, for little kids. So I think the main argument is kind of, hey, if we leave our kids inside or just in streets with no contact with nature for years, their life is going to be really messed up.
Yeah, and during the documentary, I learned how privileged I was during my childhood and how my parents gave me that without thinking twice, it's going to be good or not. Yeah, it's going to be good for her. So I had almost every summer vacations at the beach and kayaking.
Mm-hmm. Kayaking is the verb and kayak is the noun.
Yeah, kayaking and sailing and a lot of things. And every winter vacations, I would go to Hotel Fazenda to be close to cows, to horses, to pigs, to chicken, and all the animals, and tomando banho de lama. How do you say that?
Yeah, taking a mud bath.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I still love to do that.
You still love to do that. You
Yeah.
used to.
Yeah, but I can do that as well if I'm having fun.
Okay. I can't imagine modern day Alexia taking a mud bath or kayaking. Would you kayak nowadays?
Well, I did at the lake. I was much better than you at that.
Okay. Continue your story about your childhood.
Kayaking is that kind of kayaking. It's not going in a river.
I was imagining like whitewater kayaking.
No, are you kidding me?
Okay.
So I was very privileged, and I learned how amazing my life was. Even when I went to school, my school was in the middle of nature. There was a river crossing it, and a lot of trees and a lot of sand and everything. So yeah, I was extremely privileged. And the documentary shows that a lot of people aren't. And they need to create projects to show kids the importance of that.
Yeah. Yes, it is a sad state of affairs when you have to be privileged in order to have contact with nature. They did talk about a lot of students with, I guess, what most people would call learning disabilities, like autistic students, and how much their lives change when their school curriculum has a lot of nature incorporated into it. And I think being in nature doesn't solve everything, but it solves almost everything. It really helps. It's really good for us.
Yes. And we were talking about this with our dog trainer, Hugo.
Hugo?
Yeah.
Gente boa.
And Hugo was like, yeah, my daughter, she just turned 1 year old. She's going to an infantário, which is like a daycare creche. And that even if it's sunny or raining outside, they are going to be outside, like playing and everything. So it doesn't matter the kind of weather that it is outside, they are going to be playing.
Yeah. What did he say? Não existe mau roupa. Não existe mau tempo, só existe má roupa.
Exatamente. Apparently British people say that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothes.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. And we talk a lot about on this show, or at least I talk a lot about on this show, the negative effects of using too much technology. But I don't really care if you're using technology. If you're outside, that's good enough for me. So if you're listening to this while you're walking outside, walking in a park, 2 bonus points for you. Alexia, anything else to add about O Começo da Vida lá fora?
Yeah, about the boy.
Yeah.
The most important part.
Yeah, please tell us.
So I don't remember which project it was, but there is a group of kids that would go with their teacher, I think, to... Was it Chapada Diamantina?
I don't remember. Some beautiful place in Brazil.
Yeah, but I think it's there, and they went to camp. Camp?
Mm-hmm. Or they went camping.
They went camping and to learn about the stars and to understand how it's important to be a community. Like those kids are learning about themselves and the others as well.
Yeah, they went on a camping trip.
Yeah, they were just spending time together. And then one kid, he's so smart. I was like, my jaw was on the floor when he started talking because so smart. 10 years old, 11 years old, more or less.
I'm not sure how old this little boy genius was.
Yeah, but he looked at the camera and he said, it doesn't matter if you go to the capitals of the world, like if you visit the capitals, if you haven't come here,
mm-hmm.
you haven't seen anything.
Yeah, he said something like...
Não adianta se você foi visitar as capitais do mundo afora, nem nada. Não importa. Se você não veio visitar esse lugar, nada importa. Não faz sentido.
Ele falou, tipo, você não conhece nada. And then just drop the mic.
And I can see him as like maybe a new Greta I don't know her last
Greta
name.
Thunberg.
Yeah, something like that.
A new future leader in Brazil.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, really cool kid. Really cool documentary. We highly recommend checking it out and getting outside when you can. Of course, doing it safely. Alexia, thanks for another good conversation. As always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well. Bye! Muito obrigada por ter escutado mais um episódio aqui do Inglês de Necrorádio. É muito bom ter você juntinho assim de nós. Faz muito, muito carinho no nosso coração, digamos assim. Então você que está interessado em saber mais sobre os nossos produtos e saber mais sobre a gente, o que a gente oferece para vocês em relação a estudo, a challenge, a curso, vá lá no inglesdenecro.com e você pode ver mais sobre as worksheets, por exemplo.
Yeah. If you want to really improve your English, if you want to learn more about the ways you can do that and just connect with us on a deeper level, go to inglesnocru.com. And as always, keep up the good fight.
And lose well.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.